Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with Tyler Posey, formerly known as Hawk on The Masked Singer. Tyler, you were sent home Wednesday night after a tough smackdown with Tiki. Talk about that moment you were unmasked. Were you upset to be heading home that early, or was it exciting? What was going through your head?
Okay, so I'm very competitive, and so I gave it my all. So when they said it was me going home, I was surprised because one thing that's interesting about the Smackdowns is that you get to see the other contestant perform. I hadn't seen them. I could only hear them. I could hear him sing, and I'm like, oh wow, that's a great voice. I can't match that, but maybe I can bring the energy. And so finally, when me and Tiki were in the Smackdown, I got to watch him perform. Amazing voice, but I thought, oh, I could definitely outperform. I could perform the energy. And so I gave it my all. I was like flapping my wings. I was circling around the stage, and then when they told me that I was going home, I was like just surprised. I was like, what? There's literally nothing more that I could have done to outperform. Maybe be a better singer, but my style of singing is punk rock. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not a polished, classically trained. He was hitting notes that were completely out of my range. So he's an incredible singer, but I did feel like I outperformed, brought the energy more, and so I was surprised. And then my ego, I was like, I felt so hurt for just a split second because I felt like there was nothing more that I could have done to, you know, to stay longer. And so I was a little bit sad, but then I realized that this was such a fun experience and this is still fun. I get to do my outro moment with my mask off, and it kind of alleviated the anxiety of losing because I really put my heart and soul into it. And I'm really proud of the performance. Like I feel like I couldn't have done anything better. So I'm very happy with my outcome. I think maybe I would have wished to stay a little bit longer, but also it's hot in that suit. You know, I'm okay. I'm okay with as far as I came and all my effort.
Well, Nicole thought you were Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day.
I
So
love that. That
if
was
that
like
if that isn't some respect for your voice, I mean, I don't know
it.
what it is.
It honestly was like that's all I needed. Like their guesses for Billy Joel was my favorite one. I was just so honored and humbled that they thought that I could have been Billy Joel Armstrong. He's been my idol since I was 10, maybe younger. So that was cool.
What was I? Because they also guessed Ryan Phillippe, Chad Michael Murray, and Cole Sprouse. I don't know what those three sound like vocally. What were your thoughts when those guesses were coming out?
I thought it was good deducing, because I could see how they could have gotten to those people, and I'm like, wow, you guys are really good detectives. That's good guessing. It's not right, but it's still I like your train of thought. Um, so I don't know what they sound like either when they sing, but I thought that they were solid guesses. But Billy Joel Armstrong was my favorite.
Talk about becoming Hawk and what it was like the first time you saw that costume. Like, were you pumped? Was that sort of the look you wanted to go for or were hoping for?
Yeah, it was. It's hard to sort of guess what the producers have in mind for you, and all the artists have in mind for what they see for your costume. Um, so I didn't have my expectations high or low, but when I saw Hawk and how excited everyone was to present it to me, um, they were just like, "This is one of our favorite costumes we've ever done." And I was like, I could see why. This is like, how are you even going to make this work? Like, it seemed impossible, for them to build this suit. And was it going to be like 1,000 pounds? There were all these questions running through my head, but the costumers killed it. I loved the sort of backstory that they gave Hawk. He's from this like other planet, blah blah blah, and all this really fun stuff, and it really fit. Like I felt like Hawk is sort of this heroic leader, and I've seen myself as like a leader, especially being lead on set of Teen Wolf and other projects that I've done, and in my house with my dogs. I feel like a leader. So it felt really right, and I was really happy to wear the Hawk suit.
In your clue package, you talked about being shy as a kid and growing up in the family business, being surrounded by adults. Do you remember the band or artists that opened your eyes and ears to music and really made you fall in love with that as an art form?
Yeah, it was Blink-182. I heard them at my friend's 7th birthday party on the trampoline, and I was like, because my dad introduced me to music really young. My older brother introduced me to music, but this was something that I found on my own, and it spoke to me in a way that I've never been spoke to before at that young age. And it was the first time in my life where I really felt connected to something, and it was punk rock. I don't know what it was about it, but I've covered myself in tattoos. I skateboarded, I partied, I just really embodied that punk rock mentality for my whole life, even up until this point now, you know? So it really changed my life. Blink-182 opened the door to something that's stuck with me for forever.
So what was it like for you meeting Travis Barker and collaborating with him? Didn't you have a single come up with him recently?
Yeah, dude, it was incredible. It was the coolest thing ever, you know. And also Tom DeLonge is a friend of mine now too, and we collaborate on certain things. And so it's just I feel like I've peaked. You know, I feel like I could die right now and be completely happy. And I don't know how life could get any better. You know, it's such a cool thing to look back on your younger self and imagine telling them what you're about to experience and just watching their face, you know, because Blink was my favorite. They changed my life when I was a little kid. And if I could tell myself as a little kid, like, you're going to be friends with these dudes, I don't know how I would react to it. Like, it's that to me is so special. And I really cherish that, you know.
The two songs you got to perform were Saturday Night's All Right by Elton John and Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic by The Police. I mean, iconic, legendary artists that wrote these songs. How did you decide on those?
Um, so we had Elton John night, and so it had to be an Elton John song. Ironically, Saturday Night is for Fighting. I had never heard that song before, you know. So when I heard it, when they were like, we have a few choices, here's one of them. I heard it and I was like, oh, this song is sick. I didn't know this song existed. And I really loved the cadence, the melody, how he sang. And so we chose that one because it felt like it fit my sort of grungy punk vibe, you know. It felt like we could turn it into a sort of a punk rendition. And then the Police song, Everything She Does Is Magic, it was Harry Potter night. So we were trying to find something that included magic in the title, in the lyrics, something like that, you know. And so I am a huge fan of Police. I love that song. And then we also did a little punk rock rendition of that song too, which was really fun. And I wanted to hear that, what that would sound like. So that's how those choices came down to it. And I was just really stoked to do them.
What were the Smackdowns like? Because you were in both and you took out the Royal Hen, who was Billie Jean King. And
So
that was a
funny.
shock. And is it nerve-wracking to be in those situations? And then also, what is it like to see these other contestants unmasked throughout the season? Like, are you
Yeah.
surprised by who's been on so far?
Oh yeah, completely. You know, like I think I have to keep my expectations to minimal because everyone there I just forget that I'm like in this celebrity world sometimes and that I'm sharing this stage with these people that I've idolized for years. So it's so interesting seeing who I just shared the stage with. Like I'm excited to see the rest of the season and see who the hell else is who's Tiki. Like I can't wait to know who these people are. And the only nerve-wracking part to me was the SmackDown because I was super confident with the performances and I was like, I'm for sure advancing. And then when the SmackDown came up, I got nervous. I was like, oh no, I could be going home. And that's when the nerves and the pressure really hit me. Because that's sort of a stressful scenario, but it's really cool because you get to see the others perform. And I went second both times. And so I was like, okay, now I know how to beat you, you know, but it didn't work the second time.
Did you, without giving any spoilers away, did you have inklings or suspicions about who certain performers were?
I have no idea. I really have no idea. And I think that's such a fun aspect of it, you know, because like genuinely, we contestants don't know who each other are, you know, and that's such a fun aspect. I really love that, you know, because you could be literally standing and performing and competing next to your idol, you know, that's so cool.
How is performing with a mask on compared to performing as yourself? I mean, was there something empowering about it or different, or was it just difficult? I would feel like there's no one really judging you. So like it seems
Yeah,
fun to me. What was it like for you?
it's all of the above. Everything you just said. It is empowering because once that mask goes on, you all of your anxieties and whatever kind of float away because no one can see you. And so you're just down to be this entity, this like entertainment, um, and just kind of go all out and be silly and be as weird as you can with no shame and no embarrassment. It wasn't embarrassing at all, even though like it could have been. Um, and it was different, like you kind of have to. It's hot in there, and you have to sort of plan when you're going to take a breath, and you have to kind of relax a little bit because when I'm performing on a microphone at one of my concerts, I'm going all out every single song, and you kind of have to hold back a little bit in that costume because you can get winded really, really easily and just lose all your steam. Um, yeah, it's interesting, and you do lose yourself a little bit. You become the character, which is so fun. You know?
And you've been in show business pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
Your most famous role was Teen Wolf, something like 100 episodes, I think, of that. What was it like reuniting with everyone for that film earlier this year and just getting to see everyone again after a
Oh,
few?
dude, it was fucking awesome. I really, really, really loved it. Especially I think I was 25 when the show finished, and then being able to reproach it as a 30-year-old, like I felt very more settled than I was when I was 25. I felt more in the moment, and I was able to digest things happening and just really just be in the moment with everything, and being able to revisit the character as like an official adult was a really special thing, and it's pretty unique that we get that opportunity as an actor. It's not often you get to revisit a role you did when you were a kid, and so I really appreciated that, and I loved it. I loved being on the set with everybody. It felt like no time had passed. I missed everybody so much, and it just felt like home. It was so cool, dude. So cool.
And you have a music career as well. Is that something that keeps evolving for you? I mean, what's next? I mean, what are we going to hear from you next, and when can we expect more music?
Yeah, so I came out with an album May 26th. And so it's 16 songs. It's a lot of content, and we're doing a tour next year, I think in March. Me and my wife are going to be touring together. We're doing a co-headline tour, and it's going to be great. I love music. I love dedicating myself to it. I love dedicating myself to both worlds and seeing what comes from what, and hopefully one can push the other, and but I'm staying true to punk rock. Most of my songs that I write are all punk rock and Blink-182 based. So got to pay homage.
Well, Tyler, it was fun watching you as Hawk. We look forward to keep an eye out for those tour dates. And thanks for chatting with Gold Derby today.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it.